Are you tired of weak, watered-down coffee? Blackout coffee is bold, it is fresh, and it is roasted right here in Florida. Shipped fast to all 50 states. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/scroll and use code SCROLL for 20% off your first order. Don't settle. Upgrade your coffee now. Welcome to Nightly Scroll, everyone. I'm Hayley Caronia. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I know I did. I spent time with my mom. I spent time in North Carolina, but we are back here. Lots of business to get to. But first, I have to remind everyone, you have to go to the Bongino Report channel on Rumble to watch this show. So if you're listening, you got to go to Rumble. Rumble.com/Hayley is where you can find it. That's where you can join all of my homies in the chat. If you want to listen later on, find it on your favorite podcast platform. Just search for Nightly Scroll with Hayley. Actress Sydney Sweeney has triggered the Libs yet again. This isn't the first time. This isn't even the second time. But this time it is with her American Eagle denim campaign that the wokies are calling Nazi propaganda. We're going to get into it. Plus, a giant bust of Elon Musk's head is making its way to all the national parks in protest of Doge cuts, another giant waste of money in protest of saving money. That's leftist logic. Plus, a whites-only town is being built in the Ozarks. The media is covering it very differently than the blacks-only town in Georgia that started in 2020. I wonder why. Plus, the creator of The Simpsons wants everyone to delete Fox News to save the country. Put your phones on Do Not Disturb. Nightly Scroll starts now. Who Sydney Sweeney is, I want to introduce you to Sydney Sweeney. She is the American It Girl. Here are some pictures of her. She's gorgeous. She's in popular TV shows like Euphoria and White Lotus. She's in rom-com movies. She starred in Anything But You, the revival of the rom-com, because that whole genre kind of came and went. It had its moment in the 90s and then early 2000s, and then people just said, where did all the rom-coms go? And here she is to revive it. She's also set to star in other popular movies. I read a book, I read a lot of thrillers, and one of the movies or one of the books that I've read that is turning into a movie is The Housemaid, and she is going to play the housemaid in the movie. So that, I don't know when that's coming out, but I'm very excited to see it. Okay, so I'm a fan of Sydney Sweeney's. She is skinny, she is blonde, she is pretty, she has big boobs, so obviously women hate her. And they have made her a recent target for a lot of reasons. So let me just set the scene for you. A few years ago, she posted photos from a family barbecue. If you could pull these up, if you could just search Sydney Sweeney barbecue, MAGA hat, thin blue line, anything like that, we could probably find them. But she posted photos from his family barbecue. She's from Spokane, Washington. And, some of her family members were wearing MAGA hats. They're wearing thin blue line shirts, and she posted these photos to social media. You can guess how the cancel culture mob reacted to that. They weren't so happy. And people on the left, they were forcing Sydney Sweeney. They were trying to get Sydney Sweeney to denounce her own family members. They were trying to get her to say, yes, I hate these people. So that's Sydney Sweeney's brother on the right. And then I don't know who these people are, members of Sydney Sweeney's family, and they're wearing MAGA hats. And this is just one of the photos that sparked all of this controversy. And my favorite part of the whole thing is that Sydney did not apologize for who her family is. Didn't matter how much the woke mob was, banging at her door, trying to get her to say something, to make a statement. No, guess what? She wasn't canceled either. She didn't denounce her family. She didn't disown them. And she continued to work and get gigs and be popular. So this was like a masterclass in how to deal with cancel culture. You just don't give them the time of day. They move on to something else. And all is well in the world. So liberals automatically don't like her because of this. But I think people have Sydney Sweeney fatigue. She's in every movie. She's working with every brand. The only demographic that isn't tired of Sydney Sweeney is men, because they love her. So if you're selling to men, Sydney Sweeney is your girl. She's, again, pretty, blonde, perfect body, and she leans into it, which is why ugly, insecure women hate her. They blame it all on Sydney's internalized misogyny, but women are the ones hating their fellow woman because she's not womaning in the way that they want her to woman. That's leftist logic. And leftist women think that if you do anything to look attractive, you're doing so to fit the male gaze, and you are therefore a pick-me girl a girl who does whatever it takes to be picked by a man. And so Sydney Sweeney caught backlash for the MAGA hat wearing family members, but she's also caught backlash recently for partnering with Dr. Squatch soap. She was selling a soap. This is obviously targeted towards men, but this soap was a limited edition, and it was said to have been made with her own bath water. So, of course, men were, I guess, buying it. Women were mad at it. I think a lot of women would probably be mad at it because they don't want their husband to go buy it, and I get that. I get it. But this caught a lot of backlash. And this was a breaking point for the insecure, angry women crowd. They turned on Sydney Sweeney at this point. It didn't matter that she was good in White Lotus and Euphoria. This was the moment where everyone, especially liberal women, said, we're done with Sydney Sweeney. She's catering to men, and we hate her for that. They crowned her the biggest pick-me of them all. And it's not because of her sexual nature. It's because there's guy hot and girl hot. Have you heard of this, Andy?
No, but okay. I'm waiting.
This actually proves my point because only women talk about this. Only women have deemed other women girl hot and guy hot. And it's because guy hot is a girl that guys find hot. Girl hot is an objectively attractive woman that guys are really not into, but women really like. Do you know who Sabrina Carpenter is?
Yeah, the young pop star. We covered her a couple of weeks ago with her new record that came out. That was all shady. Yeah,
exactly. Okay. So Sabrina Carpenter is an example of girl hot. For whatever reason, guys, she's very sexual in nature. Her songs are sexual. Her costumes on stage are very sexual. She's wearing a lot of lingerie. We can play this video so you guys can see it. But girls find her attractive, but if you asked men who the hottest pop star is, they wouldn't name her. So women like that. Leftist women like Sabrina Carpenter because men don't. And you could argue that all these like sex positions and lingerie and all this stuff that she does on stage is for the male gaze, but women eat it up and they cheer on this hypersexuality. And by leftist women's standards, that's okay, but Sydney Sweeney admitting that her body is hot is not okay. It is hypocrisy at its finest. So let's get in. That's all the background. Let's get into the American Eagle campaign that has everybody all worked up. So Sydney Sweeney did a different videos, a few different, for American Eagle, which is an all-American brand that is normally targeting women. But here is the first one. She is modeling their jeans. Watch.
My body's composition is determined by my genes. Hey, eyes up here.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
Okay, that's just a little taste. I'm going to play you a little more. But the entire purpose of this is to essentially, it's the play on words, jeans, right? Sydney Sweeney has great jeans because she's gorgeous. So here's the next one. The next one is very Americana. Sydney Sweeney likes cars. This is, I think, her car in this ad, or if it isn't, she works on cars. So this isn't like she's pretending to be this kind of girl and she's not.
Is that real? She works on cars?
Yeah, but this is...
Point.
What?
That's a point.
Right. So she's not trying to be something that she's not, but it's very, like, reminiscent of Megan Fox Transformers.
I know that movie.
So watch this. So there's Sydney Sweeney. She's got her jeans. There's her butt.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
Okay. This is what people are mad at. We're going to keep going into it, but people are very mad at this campaign. I just want to also say that I've worked in marketing before, and as much as women don't want to admit it, sex does sell. So this is an obvious tactic that's worked for years, and it's still working. We're gonna get into the fact that American Eagle stock prices are surging with this whole thing, but we'll get into it. Not all of them were overtly sexual. Here's another one. So there's Sydney Sweeney. She's standing outside. Looks like New York City. She's putting up her own billboard. And she's got great jeans. She's wearing the jeans. You don't even see her face. You don't see her boobs. And of course, it ends with Sydney Sweeney has great jeans. So I think, just based on these videos, I think a way to make this ad campaign better would have been for it to say, Sydney Sweeney has great jeans, but ours are even better. Sydney Sweeney has great jeans, but a little help from American Eagle never hurts. Or Sydney Sweeney has great jeans. We're here to support her every move. Something like this. Instead of the narrative that Sydney Sweeney is gorgeous without these jeans on, she doesn't need them, and neither do you. So my one question is, who is American Eagle's target audience, and who are they catering to with this ad campaign? Because it's not women. Women are up in arms. They're angry at this. Before this ad, I would say American Eagle's target audience is women. Men probably aren't clamoring to buy their clothes from there. It's more popular among women. So maybe American Eagle wants to appeal to men more. And if that's their goal, then I would say this is successful. But this campaign has everybody talking. So by brand awareness standards, this is successful. Whether they're selling to men or women, they're getting everybody talking, everybody mad. Men are probably finding out about it because their girlfriends are mad about it, complaining about it. So everyone is hearing about Sydney Sweeney and American Eagle, and everyone's talking about it. This is the point of advertising. So do I think this ad campaign is meant to get men in stores to buy jeans for their wives and girlfriends? No. I think that would backfire the same way that the soap did, because most men or most women wouldn't want their husband falling for a Sydney Sweeney ad. So I think that they are targeting men. And this next clip to me says that they are selling men's jeans to men using Sydney Sweeney. Watch.
I bet you
Those
want
are
to try
men's
these
jeans.
jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
They're men's jeans. They don't fit her. She's saying, I bet you want to try these jeans. I think she's selling men's jeans. So all the women that are up in arms about it, it's like, I don't even think this was for you. You think it's for you, but I don't think it was. All the videos that I just played for you are so that you understand the context of this ad, which is, of course, to play on the word jeans by using the hottest woman in Hollywood right now, something that woke people are not understanding. But now liberals are taking it a step further and are calling this advertisement Nazi propaganda. Watch. Yeah.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
Okay, I'll admit it's a little weird. Like, I'm not sold on this, but you know, they say that Sydney Sweeney's proud of her blue eyes, right? Like she didn't even say she's proud of it. She just said, my genes are blue. Genetics are passed down. Genes are passed down. And why are you laughing, Andy? I'm confused.
Yeah. I mean, this is just. I think you're getting a great analysis of this.
Oh, thank you.
But I do think that, like, it's so funny to see this now because we haven't seen ads like this. When I was thinking
Just with
about,
gorgeous
we were
women in
talking
them.
pre-show about the Pepsi commercial with the Cindy Crawford,
Right.
and like these ads were all over the place growing up. But
Yeah.
in this whole culture in the last 6, 8, 10 years, this stuff has been
It's gone.
almost been afraid to be made. You
Right.
know what I mean? And so there's a big blow up about it. But you normally have the most beautiful person in Hollywood or a model making these type of ads. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So-
And liberals are so Trump deranged that they are saying that Sydney Sweeney saying that her jeans are blue, like her eyes are blue, her jeans are blue, is fascist. Watch this.
I will be the friend that's too woke because those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird. Like fascist weird. Like Nazi propaganda weird.
My body's composition is determined by my genes. Hey, eyes up here.
Sydney Sweeney has very canes.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color.
She's all
My
upset
genes are
about
blue.
this.
Sydney Sweeney has very canes.
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this? Probably not, but it's still really shocking. Like, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes. Like, that is Nazi propaganda. Bro, and I haven't even
No, it
mentioned the fact that
isn't.
this entire ad campaign that Sydney Sweeney is doing right now is incredibly reminiscent to the Brooke Shields Calvin Klein jeans ad campaign that she did when she was 14 years old.
15.
That was extremely over-sexualized and weird. Yeah. Why are we referencing that? Why are we referencing that? I thought we agreed that that was weird that they had her do that.
Right, but Sydney Sweeney is in her 20s, and her entire brand is sexual, so whatever. Blonde hair and blue eyes has been the beauty standard in American movies and music since forever. So Sydney Sweeney having great genes and jeans is just a fun play on words. They're leaning into the fact that, yes, she fits the beauty standard. And it's not just blonde hair and blue eyes, by the way, that fit the beauty standard. If you put any model in here like Emily Ratajkowski, Dua Lipa, Megan Fox, Jessica Alba, Halle Berry, Beyonce, like insert any beautiful woman in entertainment, the script still works. Beyonce has great genes. Dua Lipa has great genes.
Didn't Beyonce do a Wrangler
Jessica
campaign?
Alba has great genes. Like, it would still work. So people are just mad that they picked Sydney Sweeney, but she's the it girl right now. Jessica Alba isn't. Beyonce isn't. So they're mad that they're picking a beautiful blonde woman, but like, if Beyonce had done this ad and she laid down in a pair of jeans and said, genes are passed down from generations and I have beautiful caramel skin and brown eyes and I have curves and nice lips, Beyonce has great genes, I'd be like, yeah, like, hell yeah, she does. She's gorgeous. There's
Hayley,
nothing wrong with it.
To your point, Beyonce did a Wrangler ad. She has this new song out, the cowboy song that she did.
Yeah.
And she has out where she's strutting around a pool table and doing all that stuff.
Right.
Not a word.
Right. Because people are mad at Sydney Sweeney because she's white and she's blonde and she has blue eyes. And guess what? No matter how mad the liberals are, the ad is working. Sydney Sweeney's ad boosted American Eagle stock 15%. So this was like right after, this is today, right? So today we closed and we're in the green, okay? So the cancel culture mob is mad at American Eagle for choosing to put a Hollywood it girl in their advertisement instead of a DEI hire that they would be more happy with. Maybe someone fatter, maybe someone obese, maybe someone ugly, maybe someone trans. And we've already done this. This is like, American corporations have seen what Bud Light has done. They've seen what happened to Nike. They've seen what happened to all these things after Dylan Mulvaney or whoever. And they're saying, okay, we don't want to face that kind of backlash. We're no longer going to make our logo rainbow because people are realizing that this stuff is stupid. We went through like a very mentally ill time in 2020, just collective retardation. And we're going to move away from that and do things that work. And sex sells works. So they're moving towards something that works and it's working. And people are getting mad, but guess what? This small group of people on the internet that's like really, really loud about it, that's not indicative. I guess they weren't buying the jeans, but other people are interested. But the left is so obsessed with race and gender and calling Donald Trump a Nazi that everything they see is through this like fascist lens. It's devoid of reality. And this was just their next opportunity to dunk on Sydney Sweeney and Trump at the same time. That's what it is. And yeah, to your point about Brooke Shields, we can pull this ad up or the Sidney Crawford or whatever. But Brooke Shields did the Calvin Klein ad from, when was it, the 80s or the 90s?
It's 1981.
1981. Let's roll it.
You want to know what comes between me and my Calvins? Nothing.
Calvin Klein jeans.
Okay. So the whole controversy is that she was 15 at the time. I would argue that a 15-year-old saying she's not wearing underwear is more problematic than Sydney Sweeney admitting that she's attractive. So in the grand scheme of things, Sydney Sweeney and American Eagle, this is not problematic. Women only encourage ugly women to have confidence these days, apparently. Insecure leftist women. So, anyway, that's my rant on the Sydney Sweeney thing. Totally ridiculous. But I want to give you a quick update from our sponsors for tonight's show, Helix Sleep. After a hectic day, there's nothing better than coming home to my Helix mattress. It is a game changer for sleep. No tossing, no turning, no restless nights. Thanks to Helix, I wake up feeling refreshed, energized, and ready to take on the day. If you struggle with any sleep issues, whether it's snoring, sleep apnea, or waking up with back pain, Helix has you covered. Their award-winning mattresses are designed to give you the best sleep possible. Helix Sleep takes the guesswork out of mattress shopping. They will help you choose the perfect mattress for what you need, from cooling to support. It's like having a sleep expert on speed dial. And right now, Helix has an exclusive offer for the homies, 27% off site-wide. That is huge. All you have to do is visit helixsleep.com/Hayley, Hayley, to get 27% off site-wide, exclusive for my listeners. So if you're ready to get a better night's sleep and a more energized morning, head over to helixsleep.com/Hayley. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. All right, we have to get into this Elon Musk bust because anyway, I'll get into the story, but I have issues with this. But anyway, let's pull these photos up. This is an Elon Musk head. It does not look like Elon Musk to me. If you are listening and not watching and you haven't seen this, this looks like a handsome Squidward version of Elon Musk. It does not look like Elon Musk.
Yeah, he looks sort of like an Italian soccer player, a little bit more than Musk, I think. Huh?
This is like the Cristiano Ronaldo bust.
Yeah.
Where it's so off, it's so wrong.
The cross-eyed bust.
And he's like got this weird smirk going. If you had a gun to my head and said, you have 20 tries to guess who this is, I would not have guessed Elon Musk in the 20. I would have guessed, I don't know, Alec Baldwin, a Hemsworth brother, like anyone.
Yeah, me too. I agree. I've no.
Someone in the chat said Matt Gaetz. Like, that MFer is not real. That MFer is not real.
That's a good one.
Someone said Seth MacFarlane. Yeah. Someone said chin is too square for Elon Musk. It just doesn't look like him. But anyway.
What's happening with his eyebrow?
I don't know.
He looks like The Rock. Like he's wrestling.
I could even see, I would have guessed Zac Efron before I guessed Elon Musk. So this, all in all, was a waste of time. But this is supposed to be not only an art piece, a sculpture, but a protest and performance art. So an anonymous person commissioned this. Anonymous. And when I first read this, because this was a Fox News exclusive earlier today, I thought, did Elon Musk pay for this? Because he looks so handsome. It looks so much better. Like, maybe he's behind the protest, but the protest is protesting Elon Musk. So that's counterintuitive. I don't know. But now Elon Musk is kind of anti-Doge, so I could see it. But someone in the chat said, Hayley, talk about Elon's diner. Much better story. You must not watch the show, because we've talked about Elon's diner twice last week.
We have hit that diner.
Twice last week.
We're lobbying
thanks
to go
for watching,
to the diner.
but catch up. So anyway, this sculpture was commissioned by some anonymous person. And underneath it says, "Make America Wait Again." And in those bold letters underneath, it says, "Now with longer wait times, thanks to Doge cuts." And whoever is behind this is driving it around to all the national parks, protesting the cuts that were made by Doge. People who work at these national parks no longer work there anymore. And the guy who commissioned this wants to remain anonymous. He said there's something fun about the mystery. It's not important who I am. It's about what this statue represents.
That looks like a 13-year-old with a laser printer made that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not thinking, you know,
He
some sort
commissioned
of
an
French
artist to do it. He commissioned an artist to do it, but
That was in somebody's basement with a laser printer.
again, you all know how I feel about protests. Waste of time, waste of energy. This is certainly a waste of money. You commissioned a Elon Musk bust. It looks nothing like Elon Musk. Again, if you gave me 20 chances to guess who this is, I would not have guessed Elon Musk. And what does it do? Does it undo the Doge cuts? No. Are people not going to go visit the national parks? Are they going to go call their senators? Like, nothing happens after this. It's just a spectacle, and that's it. Totally useless. And people just love to hate on Elon Musk. The guy who commissioned this said to Fox, oh, well, people were taking pictures of it, and they were giving it the middle finger and all this. Like, once people probably figured out that it was Elon Musk, then they started hating it. But otherwise, people are probably just taking pictures of it because it's this big thing. So... totally
Somebody in the chat said, is that Hunter Biden's new piece of art?
I don't think Hunter's that good.
I don't either. I mean, this is a laser printer.
You can't make an Elon Musk bust with a crack pipe. He does more like he blows paint all over the page. That's his specialty. So I don't think he could even handle something
It's
like
abstract.
this. Yeah. So anyway, but my next story is about people just hating Elon Musk. So we could pull this up because I used to live in Nashville, and transportation is a big issue there. There's really no public transportation that people take. There's a bus, and I think homeless people take it, and that's about it. I have never been on it. And I was even saying before I moved to Nashville, I'm like, oh, well, I don't need a car because if you know, you know, I hadn't driven in 10 years because I was living in New York City. So I moved to Nashville and I thought, okay, well, I don't need a car. I could just use the bus, thinking that it was like the MTA and you could just use it like the subway. No. And one time my friend and I were walking out of our office and we heard gunshots and people were like running from the bus station in downtown. And it was like right on Church Street. And people were running and they were like, don't go to the bus station. I'm like, yeah. So if you know anything about Nashville, you know that the only public transportation that is there is unusable. And it certainly needs an upgrade or it needs something, but no one wants to vote for it because then they have to raise taxes. So it's just this like, it's this back and forth, like it's never going to get done.
Well, what you could get on, you could hop on one of those bridesmaids party buses that are nothing but filling the streets in Nashville.
Yeah,
now.
those are expensive though.
Ridiculous.
Those are expensive. I've been on them. They're hundreds of dollars for 2 hours. So anyway, Elon Musk has a tunnel idea that maybe they could implement in Music City. And it says an underground transportation system, a high-speed 10-mile or so train route from the airport into the heart of Music City. And someone in the chat said no one wants to use it. They have cars. This is the point that I'm going to try to make. The comments on this post are so negative, like they're hating on Elon Musk. The amount of complaints I heard from people living in Nashville, the traffic is so bad. There's so much traffic. They have to do something about this traffic. We need public transportation because the traffic's so bad. So what is it? You have to choose a struggle. Do you not want Elon Musk to help you? Or do you want to just like ride around in your car and complain? And then they're going to complain because this is going to cost money. So it's like, what do you want to do? You have to spend money to make money. You got to spend money to improve the city. I say bring Elon Musk in and allow him to put this underground railway or transportation system because the city is growing so fast. It needs it. It's growing beyond its means. They can't sustain all the people moving there. When I moved there, there were 200 people moving there a day.
The city's not built for, I mean, even 10 years ago, it wasn't built for the traffic. I-40 and I-75 converge, and you can't go anywhere.
No.
And even 440, the loop that goes around Nashville, is ridiculous.
Right.
So, yes, Elon, dig a big hole and shove
Start
a train
going. Just
from the
start
airport
doing it.
to the Gulch.
And I trust Elon Musk to get this done. I think You know, we've seen his diner. His diner is a success. I think he'd be great at this. And the people of Nashville are begging for solutions, and then a solution is given to them, and then they're poo-pooing it because it's Elon Musk and, of course, like the TDS thing. So it's just annoying. But anyway, here I am slamming the Elon Musk bust, and now I'm back on the Elon Musk train. So some whiplash for everyone. Okay, we've got an update on Epstein. So let's throw up this headline. This is what I saw earlier today, that Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers say she discussed about 100 different people with the DOJ. So you may remember that the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, went to go meet with Ghislaine Maxwell and her attorneys in Tallahassee last week. And, you know, Pam Bondi wrote this whole thing on X saying that no government has tried to get to the bottom of this, and no government has tried to talk to Ghislaine Maxwell, which is freaking insane. Because just weeks ago, she said, case closed, there's nothing to see here, no more. And now all of a sudden she's like, look at us trying to get to the bottom of this when she closed the case. Anyway, this is proof that Pam Bondi needs to go. I'm just upset with all of this has been handled. You all know this. And I don't want to spend too long on this because I've talked about Epstein until, you know, ad nauseum, and you all know how I feel. I'm upset about how this whole thing has been handled. But Pam Bondi was willing to close the case when no one had even attempted in the Trump administration to scratch the surface based on what we know. And just because the DOJ didn't have any evidence to charge a third party doesn't mean that it's not still out there. That's where all of the backlash was stemming from, because they closed the case. They sent out the memo from the DOJ saying, yeah, we can't charge anyone, which might be true. But then they said that there's no client list after Pam Bondi said that there was a client list on her desk. So people had a hard time believing her. Now it looks like Ghislaine Maxwell just dropped 100 names to the DOJ for the first time ever. So much for case closed, and so much for no client list. These are the people that now they need to dig in and go look into. And now this doesn't mean that there will be, you know, evidence found on these 100 people. Maybe they look into it and they don't find enough evidence to charge them. But certainly the DOJ has a good starting point to ask some questions. And I hope court cases are unsealed and the victims get the justice they so deserve. But someone in the chat said, imagine Matt Gaetz on this case. Listen, I think the backlash that they have gotten has lit a fire under their asses. And I think they know that they have to deliver because the American people want something and they're not going to let this go. Like, we are a dog with a bone. And I certainly am. What they were saying wasn't good enough for me, and it wasn't good enough for a lot of other people. So now that they are understanding of where the MAGA base is and where the American electorate is on this issue, which is saving children and exposing Epstein and his disgusting trafficking ring, then I think now they are doing the work that needs to be done, that the American people are requesting of them. So we'll just have to see. We have to go into this next story because Andy just threw his hands up in the air.
I'm talk to us about this because I've got this is wild.
Well, I've got a video on it, but just to set the story or set the scene, there is a whites-only town in Arkansas. It's in the Ozarks, and it is called Return to the Land. That is what they're calling it. And NBC News, of course, they took this opportunity to head down there and talk to the leader of this whites-only land. So let's take a look.
No blacks, no Jews, no gays. High up in the Ozark Hills, in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, building houses and a new type of community. It's called Return to the Land, and it is a town open to white people only. They are millennials and Gen Z, and this is a new update of age-old prejudice.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
But what this sounds like is bringing back segregation. Is that a fair assessment?
It's free association. So we're not trying to keep other people down. This is a small settlement in the middle of the Ozarks.
But they are being kept out, even if...
Well, I mean, you don't let everyone into your home.
Around 40 people live here. Hundreds more from across the world have paid to be members. And while the men do the physical labour, the women take care of the children who live here full time. It could be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, or if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do.
You might be wondering how any of this can be legal. Return to the Land is structured as a private members association, which they believe allows them to discriminate on the basis of ethnicity, along with other factors. That has yet to be tested in the courts and may well fail. The Arkansas Attorney General has said his office is now reviewing the matter as a result of our reporting, and that there is no room for racial discrimination in Arkansas or anywhere in a free society.
So the Arkansas Attorney General at the end there apparently is not for this. They're going to investigate this, and this whites only kind of a settlement or community is allegedly looking to expand to Missouri and some other states. My thing is, if 40 people, this is 40 people, if they want to go live in a community together, that's fine by me. NBC is acting like black people are clamoring to get into this dirt pile in the Ozarks. And something tells me that they don't want to be there.
Cult is what I'm getting vibes from this. And I don't think people are wanting to throw a block party inside of there at all. This is shady.
Right. And I don't think that, black people are clamoring to move here. And Arkansas is, I think, 70.2% white as it is. So you could probably find a lot of parts of Arkansas with 40 white people who live together. I don't think that this is unheard of. However, this kind of thing is celebrated when black people do it. So back in Georgia, in 2020, a group of 19 black families came together to buy land. They bought 500 acres, I believe it was, a massive amount of land in Georgia. And NBC did a report on that. They weren't asking, where are the white people? Are you keeping the white people out? So watch this.
This location is so important because this is freedom. This is where we plan to build a community for us, by us.
Laura Cooper is the CEO of the Freedom Georgia Initiative. She bought over 500 acres of land in 2020 with the goal of creating a community for people like her. The campout allows her to give people new experiences.
This is just a celebration of freedom. Us as a black culture having an opportunity to celebrate a day that's just for us.
Campout festivities will last for 3 days. Families will be able to participate in workshops, yoga, and watch the live performances. Although it may be Wilson's first time camping in Freedom, he's looking to the future.
Really just feel compelled to freedom, want to go ahead and participate. I'd love to come down and maybe one day build a house. So we'll see what happens. I've met a lot of nice people.
Along with having fun, people who attend are learning how to live off the land. In Toomsboro, Lisbeth Gutierrez, 41 NBC News.
Okay, so I just want to point out that NBC News goes to the Ozarks to report on the white settlement, and now this, I believe, was in 2022. This is also NBC News reporting on when black people did it. Different connotation completely with their media coverage. Freedom Georgia is pro-black, and Return to the Land in Arkansas is white supremacist. There's different, right? Because the way that the media reports on pro-white is that's racist, that's wrong, that's white supremacist. But when black people do it, it's fine. So it just goes to show that they don't believe that reverse racism exists. They don't believe that you can be racist towards white people, which certainly you can. So, I mean, again, there are groups of people like the Amish that they have land and they're all white, and I don't know, that's not illegal. So I can't see how this would be illegal either. But anyway, the comments are overwhelmingly positive on the Freedom Georgia won because it's being labeled as pro-black. I saw the video on Facebook. Good job, ladies. If you want to live peacefully by yourself, go for it. Okay, so then keep that same energy then. Keep the same energy when it's white people in the Ozarks. I also want to point out that this woman, or these two black women that got these 19 families together and bought this massive amount of land in Freedom, Georgia, that was in 2020. And then that video that I showed you was 2022. And I know that 500 acres is a lot, but it looked like there was just an outhouse and a bunch of tents on the land. So in 2 years, I don't think Freedom Georgia is looking too good.
No, they look like they mowed 30 feet by 30 feet and then got some tarps from AutoZone and put something up. I mean, we'll see.
Be very
maybe
clear.
Maybe the houses are coming.
I would not live in either of these places. They both look unappealing.
The Ozark
to
one,
say the very least.
The Ozark one just gives me the creeps. Just the creeps. Like
they're both
drinking
creepy.
The Jonestown, creepy, culty. Let's stare at the asteroid and drink Kool-Aid and wear Nikes. Like
they're both very weird to me. I get weird vibes from both of them, honestly. So anyway, it's 42. We're 42 minutes in. Should we go into some scrolling time? I could save it for tomorrow. All right, let's go into scrolling time. This first video is really embarrassing for this protester. This is a liberal protester protesting Trump, Elon Musk, and of course, Project 2025, spelled with a G. Watch this. He lied about Project 2025. Stop Adolf Trump.
Did you mean to spell project like that?
It's a J. Fuck.
But you do know how to spell project?
Project.
Oh. But that's a G?
I put a G there. It's supposed to be a J.
But Adolf Trump, that is right.
Yeah, I almost spelled that wrong.
How would you say that? Project?
Yeah, I need a J. I just need a J.
Yeah, see, they wouldn't even know. They wouldn't even know.
Nothing to see here.
I thought it was on purpose. Maybe something with the G. Maybe I thought the G meant maybe gay or something.
It says Project 2025 instead of Project.
All better. All better now.
That guy looks like he does my taxes. How did he misspell project?
He's a liberal.
I mean,
he's a liberal who is protesting Trump being a Nazi. So clearly he's not very smart, because if you went to school and you opened a book, you know that nothing in modern day America looks anything like the Holocaust.
I got an idea. Maybe somebody gave him $20 and then just handed him the sign, and he didn't know that it was spelled and made him look like a fool. He just went to a van and grabbed the first thing that he grabbed.
I would rather admit that I was a paid protester and someone gave me the sign rather than to have people think that I can't spell project. That's so embarrassing.
Couple $100 in his pocket anyway.
Someone in the chat said, why are all the protesters boomers? It's another great point. Maybe I don't know, they need money. Their Social Security is not going as far as they thought it would be. That's like a totally valid concern. And maybe they're just leftists and they're looking for something to do. They're looking for some community. I don't know. Maybe they should get together and learn how to read.
Well, I mean,
and
put a little more. He wasn't putting much effort into it either. Like remember those three ladies that were protesting?
I know.
My body, my choice.
He even said he almost spelled Adolf wrong, too. He's like, oh, it was supposed to be a J. And then he said, oh, I almost spelled that wrong, too. This is really, really embarrassing.
Well,
not a lot of brain cells
spell
left.
check for him. He can use spell check.
Well, you can't use spell check on your cardboard signs on your little arts and crafts project for the protest. So you gotta, yeah. Someone in the chat, again, sorry, we're not all leftists, obviously. Oh my gosh, people, sorry. Thanks for watching. I'm getting annoyed. Obviously not all boomers are leftists. The one in the video is. I'm talking about that. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm getting annoyed.
So my 16-year-old daughter went away this weekend for a birthday trip with her friends, and my husband gave her $200 in cash. Was it $200 in cash? $200 in cash for the weekend. Food, if she wanted to go buy something while she was there, because it was a 4-day weekend, and they were looking forward to this for so long. So we were like, here's $200. About 2 hours into the trip, the Capital One goes off. Little notification. Says $12.96 has been spent. And so he looks at me and he goes, she's using that Capital One. I said, what is she using the Capital One for? You gave her $200 in cash for food, whatever, da-da-da. So a couple hours later, there it goes again. So that night we get on the phone with her. We're like, hey, what's going on? Why are you using our credit card? She goes, well, that's for food. I said, I don't understand what that means. That's for food. We gave you $200 for food, for fun, for a fantastic time. And she goes, oh no, food doesn't count in that $200. The $200 was mine. That's what she says. The $200 was mine. The Capital One is for food because you guys have to pay for my food. I think every teenager on this planet has lost their minds. Lost their minds. Absolutely lost their fucking minds.
Okay, there's a lot to break down in this video because I have an issue first. Because I see both sides, but this is a mom who's annoyed at her own child for using their card to use money.
Why does she have access to the credit card?
Right. There's a lot of things that are wrong here. And if they didn't want her using the credit card, they can easily go into their app and turn it off. Easily. If they don't want her using the credit card. But I think a lot of parents, and I'm not a parent, but I think a lot of parents, when their child is going on a trip, they don't want their child to be stuck without money for food or for travel or something. It's like an emergency thing. And people will give their child access to the credit card just for gas. I have friends growing up in high school. It's like, well, my parents give me their card. I can only use it for gas, or I can only use it for this, that, and the other thing. So I understand that. But when the teenager said to her mom, that $200 was mine, I would lose my mind over that comment, because that's not her $200. That's the $200 that her parents gave her to use for this 4-day trip. Whether that $200 is enough in this economy or not, which we can get into, that comment is so rude and entitled. And she's saying, like, you know, kids these days are so horrible. And it's like, well, this is your kid, so fix it.
I fully agree, but I think I can identify the problem here with this kid. This kid does not have a racket. This kid needs a racket. I'm going to give you an example. When I was a kid, my grandparents lived right next door to me, like right next door, walk across the yard, built a house right beside me. Loved it because I could ask my mom, you know, hey, I've got a date, or I need some gas money, or I'm doing this, you know, could I have like 10, 15 bucks? And then I would get that. And then I would walk right out the door, walk right across the yard, walk to my grandma's house, and we called her Mama, ask my Mama, hey, I'm going on a date. Could I have 10 or 15 bucks? I did this for 15 years.
See,
This was a well-oiled racketeering machine. This kid needs a racket. You can't use a credit card and mom see it. Come on.
This kid needs a job. And if they're...
That'd be wise.
Did she say in the video if they were under 16? Because if this kid is 14 years old, they can still babysit. I used to babysit when I was younger. So I made money, and if I wanted to buy something, I had to earn money and buy it myself.
Yeah, for sure. I have a job. My daughter works almost 40 hours a week at a coffee shop. Works hard.
Right.
Make your own money.
Some of the comments
Don't do what I did.
Someone commented, wow, these comments, you did not need to give her a damn thing. She could have saved up or worked a summer job for the trip. My mom didn't have $200 to ever give me as a teen. Entitlement, it's our own fault. Spoiled. So she's saying that she shouldn't have even given the daughter $200. But I think most parents would want to give their child something so that they weren't without money if they needed money. So as kind of like a backup thing. And if they wanted extra, if they wanted more, if she felt like, oh, the $200 is mine and then you need to give me your credit card for food and everything, then you need to get a job and make more money if you want more. Someone else commented, yeah, $200, maybe in 1994, I spent that on my lunch with my 2 sons. A 4-day weekend, you need at least $500. I wish $200 was enough for fun and food for 4 days. And I did think about this because if you go to, this is obviously, they're in high school. These girls are in high school. They're on a trip. I don't know if they're with other people's parents or not, but the parents are certainly not footing the bill for however many girls for breakfast, lunch, dinner, etc. for 4 days. So I understand why these kids are being sent with money from their parents. But if you are young like that, you're 14, 15, you're on this trip by yourself, let's say, you're not going to go to the grocery store. You can't drive. You're not going to go to the grocery store and make food yourselves. So you're either going to order it or you're going to take an Uber and you're going to go to a brunch spot. And if you've been out for brunch or breakfast recently in this country, you know that you're not getting out of there for less than $25, $30 because with tip.
Yeah, the tip.
That's, you're not getting out of there for less than that. So if you're there for 4 days, I mean, just breakfast is going to cost you at least $120. And that's for one person. So then think about the other meals that you need to eat. And then the mom in this video is claiming that $200 should be enough for 4 days for food and fun. So I'm kind of on team teenager. It's not enough money. And I didn't want to be on team teenager, but I kind of am.
Well, listen, here's another point. What about this mom do you just air all this out is
the
that
mom's
another,
in the wrong.
Is it me or is that another annoying thing? Like, discipline the kid.
Agreed.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Handle this so the kid doesn't do it again. What, you have to air it out so everybody knows on TikTok?
I guess she just wanted to, I think when people take it to social media, they want validation that they were right. So I think she was posting this on social media hoping that the comment section was, yeah, $200 is enough. Meanwhile, the entire comment section was $200, that's not enough.
Yeah, I mean, especially
so she didn't get what she wanted.
What are you trying to eat like the value meal at Wendy's every meal?
Right.
I mean, say she goes somewhere, at least somewhere nice one time and eats a $25 meal. Like, that's, you're blowing through that fast only on food.
I know.
So,
and I guess you could, I mean, it is just so expensive. If you think of any fast food place, a meal is going to be $12, $15. So even if you cut the 30 in half, like still it's not enough. If they're eating fast food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, $200 is still not enough for 4 days. I hate to be on team teen, but
pack some protein
teen.
Bars.
I'm on team teen. All right, this last one is hilarious. This husband, he was very excited to eat this sandwich, but unfortunately he fell on it, and this is what it looked like. Watch. My husband fell, and his whole body landed on top of half of his sub and turned it into a flat sandwich. This is the flattest flatbread I think I've ever seen in my life.
That looked like a Tostito.
It looked like a Tostito. I'm turning my iPad on so that we can read through these comments because, I mean, you have to, how far did he fall from? That's my question.
He jumped off a high dive and landed on that sub sandwich.
Is your husband alive still? Like, how far did he fall?
I mean, that looked like a cheap quesadilla.
Okay, let's read through these comments. Okay, someone said, how far did he fall and did he survive? Husband revealed because ain't no way this is real. It's giving 0 calories. That's insane. Nothing fell out the side. It just completely became two-dimensional. Not the vacuum-sealed Subway. Subway UK and Ireland commented, bro created the world's first tortilla sub. Should have went back to Subway and said, y'all are serious? Did he have a 50-foot drop? How did this happen? What Flat Stanley has for lunch? Done, but the panini press smooth out of business. How did bro make it 2D?
He must have just gotten the sub like plain or something. You know what I mean? Where it didn't have a bunch of like gardening
It looks like
items
I'm looking at some tomatoes on there. What is that? Tomatoes, lettuce? I think whoever made this sandwich, like, they screwed up, because I'm from New York, and if you go to a deli, that sandwich is this high.
Yeah, that looks like just 2 crackers.
This was a sad sandwich before we even got to the the human panini
Well, you
press.
can kind of see the unsquished one over there. You see it above it, so you can see. You know what I mean? You can see the difference on the top. You can see the unsquished side. I guess he's still got a side of the sandwich he can eat.
Someone in the chat was saying,
right, what, he skydived? Did the parachute not open and he landed on,
like a high
his
dive.
lunch?
Yeah. I think the sandwich to begin with was a sad sandwich, because there's no way that a good New York sub is being flattened like this. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in to Nightly Scroll. I had a lot of fun. Join me tomorrow. I've got another great show on deck for you tomorrow. You want to know why? Because I had so much stuff planned for tonight that we didn't get to. So I'm going to do it tomorrow. That's how I know that I have a good show for you tomorrow. Bongino Report channel on Rumble is where you can watch. Rumble.com/Hayley is the link that'll bring you there. Of course, you can listen whenever you want or watch whenever you want. Just go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, search for Nightly Scroll with Hayley. I'll be there, and you can follow me on social media. In the meantime, I will see you.